Establishment of British Empire in India. Introduction. After the death of Aurangzeb in 1707 AD, many Mughal governors and big zamindars began asserting their authority and established regional kingdoms in various parts of India. By the second half of the 18th century, a new power emerged on the political horizon, the British, who came as a small trading company. East India Company. In 16,000 AD, the East India Company acquired a sole right trade with the East, the ruler of England, Queen Elizabeth I. This meant that no other trading group in England could compete with the East India Company. With this character, the company could venture across the oceans looking for new lands. From these countries, Europe obtained many things which are not available in Europe. Rises mercantilism. Mercantilism is a business enterprise from which it could buy goods at a cheap price and carry them back to sell at high prices through trade. The royal character, however, could not prevent other European powers entering the eastern markets. By the time early 17th century, the Dutch too were exporting for trade in the Indian Ocean. The fine qualities of cotton and silk produced in India had big market in Europe. Spices like pepper, cloves, cardamom and cinnamon were in great demand. Competition amongst the European companies inevitably pushed up the prices. Armed traders. European traders formed their own companies to trade in India. The English traders formed the English East India Company, while traders from France formed the French East India Company. Both companies fought against each other for many years to capture the trade in India. Each made efforts to drive the other way. They brought armies from England and France to help them in their fight. The companies acquired land in India and built their own forts to wage battles against each other. The wealth that was accumulated by trade that enabled England to develop industries and establish their dominance in the world. As long as the Mughal empires were strong, it had not been possible for the European companies to establish their military power in India. Emperors Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb had fought and defeated the European companies number of times. When the Mughal Empire broke up into small kingdoms, the companies found their chance to assert their power. The Mughal emperors, as well as many Rajas and Nawabs, began to realize the danger to let such traders maintain armies, build forts, fight battles, and establish their economic power in their kingdoms. In 1764, Nawab Anwaruddin Khan of Arcot sent his army to fight against the French company. To the astonishment of all, the small French army managed to defeat the large army of the Nawab. The European traders became bolder after this victory and felt they could do whatever they want in India because of strength of their armies. Growing European interface in the kingdoms of India. On many occasions, when they saw two Indian rulers fighting among themselves, they get involved in the fight. They lend their army to one side to help them defeat their rivals. But in return, the companies demanded and extracted many trade concessions from the rulers. The rulers also gifted the companies large amount of money in return for their military help. This money helped the companies to increase their trade even more. The companies also began to acquire small parts of kingdoms as gifts for the local rulers. They would collect land tax from the villages and towns and used the money for their trading activities and maintaining and improving their army. Misuse of companies' power. The Indian rulers soon found the gift given to the English East India Company and bearing the expenses of its army were very heavy. Some rulers exempted the company from paying taxes on many goods purchases from their kingdoms. Its employees and officers also showed their private goods as belonging to the company to escape paying taxes. In this way, while the company got richer, its employees and officers also made a lot of money in India. The acquired company forced craftsmen to sell their goods at low prices. In the areas, the companies tried to squeeze revenue from the peasants beyond reasonable limits. When the rulers protested against such practices, the English fought against them. They even went to the extent of dethroning kings. The English imposed their rule. The English gradually began to feel that they could make use of India for traders if they only ruled the country. So, they began removing the Nawabs and Rajas and started ruling themselves. The Battle of Plassey is an important event in the Indian history in 1757 AD. The English defeated Siraj-ud-Dawla, the Nawab of Bengal, and established their rule over Bengal. The East India Company forced the Nizam of Hyderabad. In return, the English agreed to maintain an army contingent for the use of Nizam. In fact, this army used more to control the Nawabs rather than to help him. Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan of Mysore, the Maratha Sardar Mahadji Sindhi, Nana Fadnavis and others fought against English, but their kingdoms were small and one by one they lost. Beasley played an important role on the battlefield. Slowly, large area of India came under the direct rule of the English. Discontent with English rule. The English had to fight with many kings and Nawabs to establish their rule. On the other hand, they constantly faced resistance from the people of India. Farmers and landowners resisted them because the English imposed very high taxes and collected the taxes very strictly. Tribal people also offered resistance. Because of the new rules and laws the English began to implement in their areas. As a result, many tribal people lost their rights over jungle and land. Many Hindus and Muslims feared that the English would destroy the religion and convert them to Christianity. The Revolt of 1857. The 1857 revolt was started by Indian Sipahis. The Indian soldiers began firing their guns on their English officers. These were the same soldiers who helped the English to conquer the kingdom of India. They were fed up with the behavior of the English. They were not getting their salaries on time and they were not treated with respect in the British army. The cartridges were coated with cow and pig fat to keep them dry. They felt that their religious faith was violated. Based on this suspicion, a similar uprising had occurred at Barakpur. In March 1857, on this day, the soldiers opened fire on their English officers. Royal families, landowners, farmers, tribal people and craftsmen joined the revolt. Many royal families whose kingdom has been taken away by the English joined the revolt. Among them were the Peshwa, Tantia Top, his general, the Begum of Awadh and Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi. Hindus and Muslims fought against their common enemy. The army's rebellion soldiers marched towards Delhi that very night. Repeat, no sooner revolts against the English erupted in many places. There were a mere 45,000 English officers and soldiers in India. Against this, the number of Indian soldiers were 2,32,000. As a result, the revolt could not be suppressed immediately and it spread from place to place. every village in revolt. The flames of revolt spread from village to village in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. The peasants stopped paying taxes to the British government. The English introduced new things in India, that is, railways, post telegraphs. The people tore up railway lines, burned down police stations, courts, post telegraph offices, and uprooted the telegraph wires. The Indian people became more and more courageous in their fight against British rule. Money lenders have become very powerful in the villages with the help of English laws. The rebels looted the houses and burnt the documents of many money lenders. The revolt is suppressed. The rebels fought bravely, but the English slowly gained control over the situation and were able to tackle rebels one by one in each area. There were two major weaknesses among them. In every town or village region, the rebels fought separately against the English. They did not fight together. There were no combined and well-planned effects. The rebels faced shortage of modern arms. The rebels had to fight with old guns, cannons, cartridges, and gunpowder. They had to bring from outside India. The speed with which the revolt spread frightened the English. So, they behaved with great cruelty. They suppressed the rebels. They killed the rebels in most inhuman way. Many rebels went into hiding. Many of them went to places like Nepal to hide. The English deported Emperor Bahadur Shah Jafar to far away Rangoon, and there the last Mughal emperor died. After the revolt, the hold of English over India became stronger and they ruled the country for the next 90 years. During this period, they changed many of their policies and adopted new ones. In 1858, Queen Victoria of England made an input declaration that Indian kings could rule their kingdoms without any fear because the English would not try to dethrone them. Similarly, the Zamindars also were given many concessions and assured that their property would be protected. The products and Maulvis were assured that the British government would not interfere in matters relating to their religions and would let the old traditions continue. They also promised that Indians would be included in government.
మా వీడియో గనుక మీకు నచ్చినట్లయితే లైక్ చేయండి, షేర్ చేయండి. ఇలాంటి మరిన్ని వీడియోస్ కోసం మా ఛానల్ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోవడం మాత్రం మర్చిపోకండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ వాచింగ్.